Hey guys, welcome to episode 2. We have chosen a podcast name. Alden, would you like to reveal it?
Yes, hi, I'm Alden, and we are your sitcom queens.
And I'm
You
Michaela
can,
also.
you can follow us on Instagram at sitcom queens, just one word, and more handles to come.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about High School Musical.
So we're very excited because as of this release date, it has been officially 20 years since High School Musical released on the Disney Channel. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of go through a little recap, give you our comments, what we love, what we don't love, all of the in between. So let's get started. Act 1, the setup. We open on Gabriella reading and Troy and his dad playing basketball. So now we know Gabriella likes to read and doesn't like to party. Troy likes to play basketball. He doesn't want to go to the kids' party. Then we have our inciting incident, which is the New Year's Eve icebreaker that happens at minute 2 and 43 seconds. They're at the ski lodge party. Troy Bolton, a basketball-focused jock, and Gabriela Montez, a shy academic, are pushed on stage to sing karaoke together. So yeah, he has all this kind of stuff. He's flirting. Everyone's loving it. Then they go outside afterwards and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could sing. And they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could sing. Loving it so much. Troy takes what I like to believe is the first ever selfie on a flip phone for his little contact photo.
Oh.
Very exciting, like breaking technology right there, then and there. They exchange numbers. Troy's super excited. Social labels are established. That's a big one for this movie. East High is ruled by cliques. We have the jocks, the brainiacs, the drama kids, or thespians. They go by a lot of different titles. Sharpay, the thespian, tries to flirt with Troy, who's a jock, but Troy is definitely more interested in Gabriella, who is about to be established as a brainiac. Troy, Sharpay, and Gabriella are immediately pulled back into their expected roles within homeroom. This homeroom scene is where Miss Darbus, the theater teacher, mentions that Taylor is the president of the chemistry club, so now we know that she's a brainiac. The musical announcement. Drama teacher Miss Darbus announces auditions for the school musical, exciting the drama kids, Sharpay and her twin brother Ryan, while Troy ignores Darbus and texts Gabriella. This text prompts all of the leads to pull out their phones, which lands Sharpay, Ryan, Troy, Gabriella, Chad, and Taylor in detention. Spark of possibility. Troy and Gabriella, after class, privately acknowledge how much they enjoyed singing and consider auditioning, quietly because it breaks social norms. That's like the whole MacGuffin of this film is social norms. We have this like weird sneaky music I noticed that tries to paint Sharpay as the villain, even though she kindly invites Gabriella to be a member of the musical's ensemble. Troy talks about maybe auditioning for the musical. Chad tells Troy that show music is not hip hop and rock, so it's lame, and that he just shouldn't audition. So here's my next big question. Sharpay is the villain. Do you think she's a villain? Yes or no?
I think that she obviously like knows really what she wants and she's used to, a system working how it has in the past for her and like when a new person like Gabriella and like Troy come along, she feels threatened by that, so it's like kind of threatening her reality. Yeah, I mean with her main goal, she's trying to keep her place as like the queen of the school, the best actress, like all of that stuff. She doesn't go about it the best way, and I think for like the movie, she is kind of like the antagonist for at least like Troy and Gabriella's goals, like they're trying to just go be in the musical, have fun, and like not cause any problems. And one of the people that does have like a real problem with it and tries to like sabotage them in ways is Sharpay. So like I don't want to like totally villainize her, but I just think that like she could have gone about things better and also just kind of like grown as a character and realized like there's other people that are as talented and like I should share the stage with them or at least like try to stand out in a different way but not stepping on other people to like get ahead.
Yeah, I don't think she's the villain. Large part of that was because I played her in my high school production of High School Musical and High School Musical 2, so I'm like very pro her. But here's my thing. I was noticing when I was watching the movie. Like she's kind of just there to create a little bit of conflict, but I'll be honest, most of Act 1, she wasn't there. I was like really surprised. Like it was very
Mm.
heavily focused and like the honestly the antagonists for Act 1 are Chad and Taylor. Like Sharpay does nothing really until Act 2 when she, sabotages them. But before that, Taylor and Chad, who are like getting involved and they're saying like you can't do this, they break them up, like they're the ones really standing in the way, and then they come together at the end to fix it. But like Sharpay doesn't really do anything wrong until she sabotages them at the end, which is not good, but I don't think that makes her the villain. They're kind of using her as a source of conflict, but then she's forgotten about for like a good 30, 45 minutes of this 98-minute film. Like she's not there really until the end. But That's my opinion.
Definitely Chad, like he is very focused on basketball and wants Troy to be focused and like oh my gosh, I forgot about the random scene where like Troy's like running through the whole school trying to escape
That scene.
Chad and like his dad. I thought that was so funny. Yeah, it's so weird because like at least with Chad in that situation, like he's micromanaging his friend. Like why is he
Yes.
controlling every single thing? But yeah, that's like definitely a huge theme in this movie is like people trying to put you in a box and be like, oh, like, well, you've only done this in the past, and like, this is what I see you in my eyes, and like, you can't veer away from that. And so, yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's obviously like dramatized in the movie
Yeah.
to an extent, but at the same time, like, sometimes it can feel that way, like,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with the pressures of friends. Like, yeah, if your teammate, your friend is like judging you for something or is yeah trying to influence you, oh, don't waste your time on this ac other activity that you like. Those are like real problems when you're that age. Like it feels so big because that's your whole world.
Exactly. Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like where I look back and like I'll like I my cousin, so like my cousin's in middle school and she'll like tell us the drama and stuff that's going on. And like everything is so like you said, like that's their entire world. And I totally
Mhm.
get it because that's like I lived that 10 years ago. And so like I'll look back on like the things that seem like they were the biggest deal to me in high school. And I'm like, that was such a minuscule problem. Like I cannot believe that I made a
Right.
whole week worth of drama out of this. And but then, like, I hear my cousin talk about similar problems, and like, to be fair, that is her whole world. Like I now have
Yeah.
like I'm in grad school now. So like we have class, we live off campus, we have a completely like we have so many different things that are going on. So like if something dramatic
Yeah.
happens at school, well we're not sitting there for 8 hours and then we do it every day for 7 days. Like we no, like we're there for like an hour and a half maybe. Something drastic might happen if we're studying. But then like we go back, to our homes. We can call our parents or like my parents visit all the time. Like we just have different things going on. It's not our whole world now because we have so many different things we're handling. But for them, that is their whole world. So I understand this whole like status quo thing. Like I get why like, putting that into the balance is really an issue for Sharpay, but quite honestly, it's a big issue for Chad. Like he's the one who I think freaks out the most during Stick to the Status Quo.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely freaked out more, at least like in the beginning. Whereas with Taylor, I feel like Taylor, like she wasn't as upset about. I mean, I forget like at what point she figured out that Gabriella was also in the play, but it didn't seem to conflict with the, what was it called?
The
Tricat or something.
Scholastic Decathlon.
Scholastic Decathlon. But then it's not until Chad goes to her and then tries to devise this plan for them to get what they want. And so like I feel like with Taylor, she just sees getting them away from the musical more as an opportunity. I don't know, because I just see it more that it was Chad's idea. And so Chad was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like hey, we can do this. This is a way that you can get what you want." And then she's like, "Oh wait, yeah, we can both do that."
Yeah.
Oh wait, I did want to mention something not related, but like related to kind of the beginning. I thought it was interesting, like how, because this came out in 2005, right?
2006.
2006. It's interesting how they already were incorporating phones and like technology in it because I was thinking when I was rewatching it, I was thinking like none of that would be in there because it was like early. But then
Right.
yeah, they have the cell phones and like they use it in the first scene
Yeah.
where like they're exchanging the numbers and like even had cameras. I was like I didn't know that flip phones had cameras back then.
No, it's like we
So that
were
was
like so unaware because we were like 4. So like
right,
we
right.
we weren't gonna have technology back then. Like that just wasn't
Yeah.
how it worked. But yeah, it's interesting to see like how they use it and like if you watch
Mhm.
like Zach and Cody, there's like a whole episode where like I think Zach's trying to sneak in on London to help Maddie win something, and she's like, "Here, use my new camera phone," and I'm like, "Your new camera phone? What?"
Yeah. And then like also with when Sharpay is searching Gabriella, like because
Oh
she's
my
like, oh, where's
gosh!
this girl
Did you see what the
from?
website said?
No, what did it say?
Search the internet.
Oh wait, yeah, 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 I
It's the
do remember
search
that.
engine. But when Troy talks to Chad about maybe auditioning for the musical, Chad tells Troy that show music is not hip hop and rock. It's lame. He shouldn't audition. So yeah, we touched on this a little bit, but here's the thing: is Chad right that you can't do both? Do you think you have to pick an activity and stick with it? Realistically?
There's obviously like a lot of stories where people are super hyper focused on one thing and become great at it, and it's like, yeah, their only attention. But there's also like stories of people that started later in life and still were able to get good. I think like if you start something as a kid, I do think it's easier for you to pick it up because kids are like sponges, they learn things super
Right.
fast. So like yeah, if you're still a kid and like you really like something and you really want to get good at it, keep doing it because you'll have more years to get better at it and just like more free time. Yeah, you can do both. Like, I mean, I think it's also like an identity thing. Like, just because you do one thing doesn't mean you have to only stick to that. I kind of felt like almost in high school because my school was so sports oriented and like I wasn't good at sports or anything like that that I like during high school I was kind of like I saw sports as like the enemy kind of because it just was like
Yeah.
oh like my school only values sports, they don't value the arts, like all the attention's going to them, so it was just very like yeah, seeing them as an enemy. But then when I went to college, arts was definitely the cool thing because I went to Loyola Marymount University, which is in LA, and we have a great film school. So like that was something that a lot of people there were super proud of, and like just that city, they're known for the arts. But that school also has sports teams, and like that was really fun to go to the games. Yeah, kind of having like that setting where like I could go to the games with my friends, and then I also was going to like film classes and enjoying that. It kind of like helped me rediscover my love for going to the games and like some sports like basketball, that's my favorite sport. So it was kind of interesting that like in high school I was very like almost anti-sport, but now afterwards and going to college and like kind of just being in like a more diverse place where
Right.
there's not such emphasis on one or the other. There's like two things that can exist at the same time. It helped me to be like more open to embracing both of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I kind of feel like a High School Musical is a little bit unrealistic in the fact that you can do more than one thing. Like one thing that Will Friedle mentioned in his thing was like there's that saying, Jack of all trades, master of none. Like you
Mm,
can't do 17 different things and realistically like be good at it. Like they get into this like I really have a issue with High School Musical 3 where they're like, "Oh, Troy might go to Juilliard." I'm like,
oh
"He's done
right,
one
right.
musical and he's gonna go to Juilliard?" No. Like when I did theater since I was in like second or third grade. I like started doing like regional theater and stuff. I did all of the shows in like middle school. I did everything I could in high school. Like I was really invested into it. And I did voice lessons, acting like I was like that was I was Sharpay. Like that was my thing. And like that was great. And there were some people who wanted to do the musical and like in middle school it was a lot more cutthroat. And it's like when we did High School Musical, like that was the big thing and everyone who'd ever seen it wanted to audition. And if they did, they didn't get in because they were like, we know this isn't your thing. You're 14, you've never done theater before, and you have a sports conflict. Like, we're not going to cast you to be the lead, and if we do cast you, you're going to get in the ensemble and then you're going to quit. That's not realistic to just want to be Sharpay or want to be Gabriella because you grew up watching that film. Like, that's not how that works. And like in high school for me, like I did sometimes feel like sports was the enemy because our musicals were usually in the fall, so that meant if you played football or any fall sport, you couldn't be in the musical because you can't have that kind of conflict. Then my senior year, because of COVID, they bumped the musical from the fall to the spring, which is when we did High School Musical 2, and that did cause an issue because I wanted my best friend to be in it because like she grew up watching High School Musical, like she was always in the fall musical with me, and I was like, you got to audition. She's like, I can't. Like the weekend of the show, I have a track meet. I like literally I can't like I have to choose in this scenario. Or like my friend who I guess would be like my other friend, like the Brainiac group, she did robotics and she was like, I can't do High School Musical with you because I have a robotics meet the weekend of the show. Like there are scenarios like that where I think you do have to pick one way or the other. I think like you should definitely like be open, like try everything you can in elementary school, middle school, maybe early high school. But I do think that there becomes a point where you gotta pick something because like I don't know if this is like a huge thing at your school, but something that like my mom and I talked a lot about with my college counselor was like, what's your angle to get into school? Like, what's your angle to get into college? Like, like, where are you applying, and what's your angle? Like, you have to have something special about you to get in. And my angle was theater. They were like, apply to this school. They have like 9 people in the theater program. They would love to have you. And if you don't want to do theater, apply to the theater program, get in, and then pick another major. It doesn't matter, but your angle is theater, so focus on that. And I think that's something that like is brought up a little bit more in like the other High School Musical movies is that Troy's angle is basketball. Like he's going for a basketball scholarship, and like we don't know a lot about their finances. That's never discussed, but High School Musical 2, it does kind of feel like he needs a scholarship to get in, is how it's positioned, I think. And so he should angle to be in basketball. And if he wants to do an acting class, do it when you get in college. That's fine. Like you can do both, which is what he ends up doing in the third movie anyways. But I think like at a certain point in high school, you do need to pick something or one or two things to do. Like my friend did theater and track, but when it came down to it, she had to do track. You pick something that makes you special and like take it and run with it. But also like yeah, I did theater all the time, but also I student directed. I like did a I like worked I like started an acting class for underserved kids. Like I took my theater thing and then I like figured out different things I could do with it. So I kind of feel like that's more of the angle if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are some situations where you do have to choose, like especially if, yeah, you have, a sports meeting and a show on the same day. Like, yeah, you can't do both. You can't be in two places at once. And so then with those kind of decisions, you have to figure out like what matters more to you. And yeah, you have to make the decision. But I also feel like, I mean, I probably have a different philosophy on it, but I feel like you could kind of flip-flop. Like if you one semester wanted to do the musical and then the next semester do a spring sport,
Yeah.
you could kind of go back and forth. I feel like with kids, at least my big sister advice would be like just try to think of what makes, I know it sounds so cliche, but like what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like let's say it's like an instrument or something and it's like, oh well, most people, I don't really know, but like most people do trumpet but no one does the
Oboe.
piccolo or something, oboe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try doing that unique instrument and that would make you really stand out, but if you hate playing it, don't play it. Like play the trumpet if that's the one that you like playing, even if it's like a lot of people are doing it. At least for like kids, that's what at least I think that they should focus on, is like what brings them more enjoyment and fulfillment.
I think it comes from
Yeah.
like different families. Like my dad, for example, like he knew that he needed a scholarship to go to college, and he
Mhm.
loved baseball and basketball so much. He like baseball
Mhm.
was like his favorite sport, but when it came down to it, they were like, "Hey, I know you love baseball and we want you to keep playing it, but your strength is basketball. So when it
Mhm.
comes basketball season, that's what we need to really pursue and focus on and get scouts to come see you play basketball." He still did baseball because that was a spring sport. Didn't
Yeah,
conflict
right.
with basketball. He did both, but when it came to college, he was recruited for basketball. He got a full scholarship to Vanderbilt for doing basketball, and like that's what he's known for now, and he loves it. But he'll still be like, "Oh yeah, no, like I miss like baseball and stuff." But I liked both. I liked baseball more, but basketball was more promising. So I think like you can do both to an extent. I don't think it's right to say because you do sports you can't do theater like that, like in
Right,
the way
right.
it's set up in the movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think you can do the musical at the same time as a sports. Like,
I think with this movie, like, it's interesting watching Troy kind of grapple with, like, well, what if there's other things to me that are important to basketball? Or, yeah, what if there's something more important or, like, something else? Because before the movie, his whole world was basketball, and, like, there was nothing
yeah.
questioning that. So then there's, like, this new perspective coming in that he never explored before, and he kind of gets to see what that could look like.
Then,
Yeah.
like we talked about, the Troy sneaks around the school montage. Loved it. Thought it
Very
was
funny.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, a little unrealistic, but hilarious. Totally worth it.
That school
Um,
would be so fun to play hide and seek in.
So I actually went to the school, East High. I went one time to
Oh my
tour it.
gosh.
So, yeah, it was great. The
That's really
lunchroom cafeteria is enormous. Like my cafeteria is nowhere near that big in high school. I was like, this is great. I'll post a picture on our Instagram of like a couple of the places I
fun.
took there. Yeah, I even like wore my
You see
little
the
East
Sharpay
High.
locker?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I did.
Iconic.
Of course I did. Yeah, it was great. They still have the two lockers painted from the third movie. They're still painted and everything. It's great. And they do assign it to students. But yeah, it's like there's I think they like shot their theater scene somewhere else, but there's a theater in that school. And the year I went, they were doing High School Musical as their musical, which was pretty great. Yeah, so I went, I took a picture on the stage, which was awesome. I saw Jarvis's classroom. I don't actually have a mechanic shop or a rooftop scene. Those were shot elsewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I did all the research for this. But yeah, they did shoot some things in LA, but most of it was in that Salt Lake City, Utah. So now we're in Act Two, Confrontation. The decision to audition. Troy and Gabriella don't really sign up for auditions, but they stun everyone, especially Sharpay Evans, the reigning musical star, and her brother Ryan. So like I mean, honestly, this scene bothered me a little bit where Gabriella's like, Miss Jarvis, I want to audition. And she's like, the theater waits for no one. I mean, no one else auditioned. I think she could have let them do it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so Kelsey wipes out big time somehow. Her papers just fly everywhere. We find out that Troy's actually a nice guy. He helps clean it up. He tells Kelsey like, "Hey, you're the playmaker," and she's like, "What's that?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"You're the composer. Like, you're in charge here, not Sharpay."
I
Tries to
also want
flirt.
to mention the kind of relevant but High School Musical related. I don't like the status quo of guys being the only skateboarders in the movie because the guys
There
are
were
skateboarders.
girls.
In the movie,
they were,
really?
yeah, at that table there were girls and they were like,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Like actually skateboarding, because there was like one scene where there was a guy who like skateboarded, and then Chad enters the scene. And then I was thinking about how with High School Musical, the musical, the series, Ricky's the only skater. Where are the girl
oh yeah.
skaters?
You know, you'll like
And
this.
yeah,
In our production, the skater person was a girl. It was played by Ava.
yes.
They had her be a girl. Yeah, she was great. Loved it.
Uh,
Yes, we had to update it to 2017, so
but yeah, that's
the new year
something
was 2017. Yeah.
I've noticed with Disney, like High School Musical, the series, Sydney to the Max, only Max is a skater. Even
True.
though, like, and that annoys me even more because Sydney was originally supposed to be the skater. Oh, so
Oh,
sad.
really?
Yeah, she was originally supposed to be, but then the actress, she couldn't skate and she could play guitar. So they were like, "Oh, we'll have your talent be guitar." And they were like, "Okay, cool."
No,
And then
you're right.
also with Doogie Kamealoha
I
with the
watched it with
girl
you a
from
little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Even in that show, they had a scene like at a skate park, and it was like all guys. I was like, "What is going on?" So yeah, that's my hill that I won't die on.
That's the status quo that should have been broken.
Yes, that
You
would have been
also
great.
notice that Troy mentions that his friends know that he snowboarded, but not about the singing thing. And I'm like, did Gabriella just read, or can she not snowboard? Like, no one. Apparently, girls can't do
Yeah,
anything board
yeah.
related.
Girls can't snowboard either. Wow, wow.
Yeah, High School Musical. I mean, it was 2006, but Kenny Ortega needed to break some more boundaries here.
Right. They did. I did like the whole Zeke and baking thing. I thought that was great. That was wonderful.
I actually read originally Sharpay and Ryan were intended to be black characters,
Oh, interesting.
but they found Ashley Tisdale, and they said that they couldn't find anyone who would like be who was better than Ashley Tisdale, so they wanted
Yeah,
to
she was
cast her.
really
So then
good.
obviously Ryan had to be white too to match, which like go Ashley Tisdale, love her. But I mean, I think because it was 2006, the argument a lot of people make is how much they loved Taylor being smart because that was
Yeah,
like
right.
not a representation that happened. So I mean, at least they had that. But no, you're right. I agree. When like she's like always turning down Zeke and then she never once talks about or to Chad, it does feel racially coded.
Right. Even though like it I hopefully like I don't think it was the intention, but it's just like there's just certain things where it's like yeah, I do wonder like how many like people of color were in the room kind of doing a little a little once over.
Yeah, my
But
guess is no one. I
no
mean,
yeah, yeah. But
it's interesting. I
I
mean,
guess the school is predominantly white, right? Yeah.
in the movie, in the real life, East High is predominantly minorities.
Really? Why did they change it? That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
I know, it's
That's a
pretty
big
insane.
because they easily could have made it like for any reason. Like America has a lot of different people, so they could have just been like, "Oh, this is a typical American school. It's diverse." Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's a
I
thing.
mean,
Now that we're obviously like in 2020, almost 2026. Well, now 2026 when this episode airs, it's interesting because it's like there's just so many more like higher expectations now for like diversity and
yeah,
things. So then it's easy to like look back at these older media and then be like, "Oh, wow, like it would be done differently today." That's kind
right,
of
for sure. Yeah,
um
but no, it's a good point. It's just I feel like if we had gotten to know Zeke more and we got if we had gotten to know Sharpay
yeah,
more and
yeah.
established that she was actually mean outside, like all we see her do is suggest that Gabriella, do ensemble with weird music that makes us think she should be mean, and also like she's a little bit stuck up at auditions, but it's not
Mhm.
like she's not really mean until this scene with Zeke. Yeah,
Uh,
because I mean, if you also think about the things characters say about her, Chad is actually the only one who roasts her or calls her out for whatever. He goes, "Oh, she probably spent the whole break shopping, like
oh,
she
I
likes
remember that.
mirrors or
Yeah.
whatever." Yeah, or then he even, or at one point, Troy says, Sharpay's a little cute," and Chad goes, "So is a mountain lion, but you don't pet it."
Right, right.
Like I guess he like really hates Sharpay. Maybe there's a whole reason to this. Maybe you crack something open that no one has seen before.
Oh my gosh, I feel like it would have been so interesting if there was like a love-hate relationship between Chad and Sharpay, where like they both keep saying insults to each other, and like that's because like that would make sense of like Chad saying a lot of like really mean insults and then Sharpay saying mean insults, but then like there could be something there, and you're like, that would have been so interesting. That's the story that we
Yeah.
all know.
Then we have the rooftop garden scene. Troy and Gabriella share their insecurities. Troy doesn't want to let his cover slip as the basketball guy because his parents are so proud. What a line delivery he has. They're like off in the distance.
Right.
Um, Gabriella talks about how everyone is always treated like the freaky math girl, which I don't know about you, but the freaky math girl was not someone we had in my school. Everyone in my school was just really good at math, not me though. And then they had this whole kindergarten, I'll be your best friend message. Super
Yeah.
sweet, loving it.
Like
But
Troy and Gabriella, they had more like obviously they're the two star characters, but like they had more moments together than I remembered. Because I feel like at least comparing it to like zombies, like Zed and Addison like
yeah,
barely interact. Like obviously
they're
they're
interacting with their
lead.
flicks. They're in their
Yeah.
flicks. They're never together.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And like I like that. Especially if there's like a romance between these two characters. Like I like seeing them actually talk to each other.
Chad and Taylor conspired to break up Troy and Gabriella to get them to not audition, which was what we talked about a little bit earlier. You're right. It is mostly Chad's idea. He's like, we gotta nip this thing in the bud. He's also really stressed out. Like after Stick to the Status Quo, he's like, Troy, look at what you did. Now people who are not jocks think that they can talk to us. I'm like, Chad, calm down, buddy. It's okay if
Yeah.
Martha Cox wants to say hi. If Skater Boy wants to say hello, which he does, it's gonna be okay. It's not the end of the
Right.
world. And then all of a sudden, so he's like all mad about this, and then suddenly he's over there talking to Taylor, who he's never once talked to before in this
Right.
movie. Like we know that they end up together, but honestly, if I had
But
never seen this before,
the interesting thing is, the more that we talk about Chad, the more I think that him and Sharpay should be together.
no, they'd be too toxic
Yes.
together.
No, I think that they are alike, and even though opposites attract, they would be great together. I think
I don't
because
think
the
so.
thing
It's
is
because they're
with
both
Chad,
so
like,
controlling.
but think of what they could do. Maybe not for the good of the world, but what they could do together. Like
I
if
mean,
they
they
both
both want the
agreed,
status quo. They both be like the
yeah.
status quo got. But here's the issue with that: is if the status quo has to be intact, they can't talk to each other.
No, but they could change that, because think about like Chad, he thinks he's like on the top of the food chain, right? Sharpay also thinks she's top of the food chain. Like they're both like, hey, we're the popular kids, like we're super cool. So they could join forces and then, you know, maybe become better people together.
I I don't see that happening. I think like I think it would hurt Chad because I think that she would probably dominate him. I think she's just too controlling to let anyone to relinquish
But no,
that
but
power.
the thing is though is like that's the thing. They would like balance each other out because she would obviously like try to be controlling whatever, but Chad would call her out. So they would yin and yang.
I don't think so. I mean, in
I
scene
I
one, she does this to Chad and walks on by.
I think that there's potential for some character growth there.
Now we're on to Act 3 resolution. Friends unite. The basketball team and the academic club secretly help Troy and Gabriella get to callbacks showing growth and support. The girls make a poster for the boys bring the girls a cake, which I was like, that's great, but suddenly it's okay to intermingle. Chad has no problem anymore, but whatever. Alright, now we're on to the callbacks, the big time. Love Bop to the Top. I think it's great, but it raises the question, what the heck is Twinkletown about? We got What I've Been Looking For, Bop to the Top, and we have Breaking Free. In what musical is Bop to the Top also in Act Two of Breaking Free besides this one?
Mm.
Like what? Like I mean, you can make the argument that both of those songs serve purposes in High School Musical itself outside of just being a performance. Like Sharpay is saying that she's gonna be on top, which I mean
Yeah,
makes
right.
sense, and shows her doing that in the performance. And then Breaking Free is really about Troy and Gabriella breaking free from their like stereotypical roles. Like that's so deep, I get it, but also like, but in like Kelsey's musical, what is this about? And then we have What I've Been Looking
Yeah.
For. Like, so I think Minnie and Arnold, I think Minnie and Arnold, the characters are like that's what the characters are called. Like, they're supposed to like be in love, so they're probably saying What I've Been Looking For. But then like Breaking Free makes sense, but Bob's at the Top, that seems to have come out of nowhere. One thing that I think is interesting is um, I guess like kids are not resonating with this movie as much as they used to because I guess nowadays you don't have to pick just one thing. You can do
Yeah.
multiple things. So like, do you think that this is still relevant to kids today, 20 years later?
I mean, I think it is, especially just with like the friend pressures thing. Like, yeah, I think it is more acceptable now to like do multiple things, especially with like social media and like doing content and stuff. Like anyone who does content, they're usually doing two different things because it's like they're doing content creation, but they're also doing something that's like their niche. So they're kind of doing two different
Right.
passions at once. And so like that's super normalized. But I think the friends pressure thing, that's what I think probably resonates with kids the most is like really caring what other people think, especially their friends and like the other people in school. a lot of kids, yeah, are still influenced by their friends, and sometimes it can be hard for them to like, if they have a different opinion, to like feel comfortable voicing it out or like being different. So in that way, I think it is still very relevant.
I wish we had done a little bit more on focusing on Troy and his dad, like that
Oh
relationship,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that is probably more relatable to kids today too. Like, obviously, his dad was so basketball heavy, and at the end, he does kind of, to his credit, he's like, I just want you to be happy playing the game that we love, and too much of that pressure's come from me. And like, that's an important thing to say, but also like he didn't address the fact that Troy might also want to do theater. Like that wasn't ever addressed. We had that huge question, do everything I could do both, and we never revisit it. It's just I want you to still enjoy basketball. Is basically what he says. It's not about winning. It's just I want you to love it. But like I know. I just kind of wish we'd had a little bit more discussion like with his dad. More and more kids today are like the generational gap, the generational conflict. I think that's like something super real. Even back then, I feel like that was a thing. So like I kind of wish we had included the parents a little bit more. And then one final question. So apparently the golden number for Disney Channel original movies is 90 minutes. They try to get that to be right exact. High
Oh,
School Musical is 98 minutes. Are there 8 minutes that you would cut?
oh, that's such a good question. I didn't know about that 90-minute rule thing. I This makes sense. Yeah, I definitely think that there's minutes that are cut. The montage scene where they're like practicing in secret, I was bored. Like
I
it
know,
just
right?
because it just the music was kind of weird, like it kind of took me out, and then like it just was like so slow. Like it felt like a weird pacing, like everything else was going
Yeah.
on pretty smoothly, and then it just goes into this. So I didn't think that was necessary. They could just like do a little no, not subtext. They could do a little exposition and like just mention like, oh, like I had to practice in the bathroom to like hide from, blah blah blah. So I'd cut that.
It would also be the scene of Troy and Gabriella in practice right before he blows up his dad. Like Gabriella doesn't need to be there. He really
That's
just needs like
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
like she makes a weird joke about inventing the microwave oven and winning games. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
hey, it wasn't even funny, but he's like, ha ha,
Yeah.
you're hilarious. I'm like, okay. Like we have enough
That
scenes
was.
of them together. But for the most part, I thought it was good. I thought for the most part like most of their minutes were like utilized to the fullest. We told a good story. I think it was obviously easy to follow along.
Yeah.
The setup was super clear. Yeah, all in all, good movie, 10 out of 10. Like you said, would definitely recommend to a friend.
I think it's wild that it's already the 20th anniversary. That is
I
crazy.
know.
But it definitely set a really cool, almost precedent for future franchises. Because I feel like High School Musical was like one of the first DCOM franchises that like
Oh,
got
it
really,
was.
really popular to make way for Descendants and Zombies and future ones to come. So I
And
think,
it spawned like Camp Rock.
yeah, oh yeah, Camp Rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I wonder, wait, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Last question. Do you think that when they were making High School Musical, like writing and like filming and all that stuff, do you think that they like knew they had a hit on their hands, or it just was like, well, we hope that this will do well, but like, you know.
I actually know that they didn't think that at all. I've like did
Mm.
like a lot of research on this like for fun years ago. So basically, High School Musical was a placeholder title. It was actually called Untitled High School Musical. That was the project. They didn't have a title.
That's so
Also,
funny.
this is like the first time they did a musical movie, really. Disney Channel hadn't really done a
Oh,
musical movie before, so they were like, I don't know if this will
wow.
sell. I guess kids like music. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They put
That's
this
so
out, it's a huge hit. All of their songs are like on the top Billboard 100 songs. I think I read somewhere that in 2006, High School Musical was the #1 best-selling album of that year. It was nominated for 6 Emmy Awards, won 2. I mean, this was like massive, massive stuff. Like, I didn't really
yeah.
grow up watching movies or TV at all. My mom just didn't really believe in that. And then one of her friends said, "You gotta get your kids to watch High School Musical. It's really great. I mean, you guys should watch it together." So like, I watched it once when I was 4, and like, I mean, I didn't watch it
The
again
rest is
10 years
history.
later, but I mean, like, it was massive. And then like, then like 10 years later, we're doing it in my middle school, and everyone and their mother wanted to audition because they knew what High School Musical was. We sold out every show. We only had like 4 performances. Every show was sold out. We had to turn people away at
Mm,
the door because they just wanted to see it. All of the high school kids came to see it because they grew up with it. I mean, the High School Musical left a massive legacy, if nothing
yeah.
else. But I mean, and then like we'll even see like the High School Musical went on tour. Like they had the whole concert going on. Like that was insane. Obviously, it launched the careers of Zac Efron's probably the biggest name to come from that. Ashley Tisdale had a pretty great career after that. And now has a like wellness brand. Lucas Grabeel had a music career a little bit after this. He did some more stuff with the Disney Channel. Vanessa Hudgens just had her second baby. Congratulations, V Hudge. And like is married to this baseball player, and she had a big career after this. I mean, High School Musical can't be topped. It like broke its own record for the most watched cable premiere ever with High School Musical 2 coming in at 17 million viewers for a
Wow.
kids channel, and it's the highest thing that anyone's ever watched on cable ever, which is
Dang.
insane to think about. I mean, yeah, I mean the reach is just crazy, and like to think that they thought, oh, was this Untitled? Half the actors were gonna quit acting before they got this job. I mean, it's insane.
Wow. So
But
yeah,
yeah, no,
real
it's crazy.
lightning in a bottle. High School Musical.
Yeah, and you're right. They launched stuff like Descendants and Zombies, who are like now going on to have the biggest franchises ever with fourth and fifth films.
Right. I know. Yeah, that is like insane. Because I mean, even just like for a film to get like one sequel, like it has to do really well, and then to get a third one, it's like, oh, it has to do even well, and a fourth one, like, yeah, the whole zombies thing, like,
Unprecedented.
because like especially with the Zombies 4, like they like went into Zombies 3 being like, oh, this is the last one, like, yeah, this is the last one, and like I don't know how, but someone was like, no, we need Zombies 4, and
They're
thank you
like,
for
we
the
have to see
sequel.
Mountain College. We talked
Yes,
so much about Mountain College, we gotta see it.
right. But
But yeah,
because
no, I mean we'll do zombies soon.
yes, because yeah, I think probably at least for the franchise stuff, like the reason they don't want to make more and more is at least for Disney because of cost. Because every like one that they get more popular and like they do another one, they have to pay the main actors more and like other
Yeah.
stuff. So, but for another day.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, thank you for recapping High School Musical, the movie, with me 20 years later.
Yeah, 20 years
But
strong.
yeah, you want to sign us off?
Yeah, thank you guys for listening or watching if you're watching on YouTube or other socials. We have a Instagram handle right now at Sitcom Queens and future handles to come, so make sure to follow to stay updated.
Yes, and thank you for recapping with us.
This episode of Sitcom Queens was produced by Michaela and Aldyn. This episode was edited by Michaela. Sitcom Queens is a You Really Care Productions and Girly Productions production.